Hey guys, Mossy here, and today, with the release of the Injustice 2 story trailer, I'm going to be giving you my analysis and thoughts on what we just seen. Alright, let's get into the trailer. Now, ever since the
Peggy
first
16.
Injustice games come out, I've been waiting and waiting for a sequel to continue the story we got in the first one. Now, straight away, we're shown a picture of what looks like Superman tied down in his cell. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the smallish symbol that Superman's wearing on his chest, but to be fair, I wasn't a big fan of some of the suits that the Insurgency, like Insurgency Batman, had in the first Injustice game, but I'll probably just learn to love this one just as much as I did with the others.
Savior. Monster. Guardian. Vigilante. The preservation of
Now,
life.
this is some cool stuff.
So often,
It's actually
the
good that they're starting to
justification
introduce
for
maybe
taking
some
it,
new characters like Supergirl. Although the first one did have
Humans
quite a lot of characters,
elevating
it
those
almost
that
felt like
keep
they were all the
guard
really well-known
until
characters,
they
unlike
watch
the characters like Supergirl and
close
stuff, as well as the other characters
the
they've
so-called
introduced. And this scene right here, I just thought I'd pause it here, as it looks very reminiscent of the scenes in The Dark Knight, where Bruce is using sonar technology to watch over all of Gotham City. But on this screen, it looks like it's a bit more of a larger extent, as some of the screens look like they're from different countries almost. Maybe giving us a hint to the storyline, which maybe Bruce, as Batman, might be watching over the whole planet now that the regime has been destroyed. Maybe looking for some of the members if they've escaped, like Wonder Woman, who at the end of the Injustice storyline sort of disappeared.
hero.
Now, also here, I just thought I'd stop the trailer here because, again, Warner Bros. Are trying to show us that they're trying to put Harley Quinn anywhere and everywhere because of her worldwide skyrocket to fame as a hugely known character due to Suicide Squad last year.
Condoning the very act he would condemn.
Now, that part just there, I was a bit iffy on it because I thought it could have actually meant
Transgressions of the past.
that Batman could actually be, condoning
actions to
what the
come.
villains are doing, like Harley Quinn, as shown just then. And obviously, we just see
As
Kandor.
offspring turns into adversary.
Now, I had to pause this here because I am a huge, huge fan of Robin, and I actually really like his new and upgraded suit. But I'm a bit confused to why he's wearing a Robin outfit, even though in the previous games and in the comics he identified himself as Nightwing, taking the mantle of Dick Grayson after he'd murdered him by accident. So I'm thinking maybe, hopefully, that in the game or maybe some prequel comics that we're going to find out why Damian has decided to go from being like wearing his Nightwing costume to going back to his old clothes, like being Robin. Now, this image here, which was released by Warner Brothers Entertainment, shows us a better look at Robin's new costume. And it's been confirmed that it's Damian Wayne playing Robin, or like in Robin for this game. And instead of like the last game where he's using his bow staff and two batons, he's now using what looks like a short blade almost, or like a big, huge Bowie knife, which makes a lot more sense, as Damian Wayne was trained by the League of Assassins to be using more deadlier weapons instead of, just a stick that occasionally makes some sparky electricity.
Yesterday's loss.
Obviously, this scene referring to the death of Lois Lane as a result of Joker in the first game.
And God becomes tyrant.
Now, this image here, I absolutely love this. Just being able to see Superman's rage and, wrath as he plunges his fist straight through Joker's chest. Now, in the first game, you didn't actually ever get to see this, as it was cut out to stop the game from becoming, getting an R rating. But if you read the Injustice comic arc, you actually get to see Superman punch, he's through Joker, as seen in this picture right here. And obviously, you can tell it's a lot more brutal than what we see in the trailer, as, the trailer was just obviously done in that dark manner, so we don't actually get to see the blood and everything else as shown here, just to stop the trailer from getting, a red band, even though most red bands are just for movies. But, alright, next, on to the next bit.
Becomes outcast. Becomes dust. As factions dissolve and form.
So now we're getting our glimpse at Bane and how he's going to be looking in this game. And from the looks of his mask, he looks like almost Nightfall Bane, where it was just more like a leather luchador mask and like just complete showing skin. He looks like he's got the Venom harness on. You can clearly see it on his arm and the tubing and like everything pumping through him. It almost looks like a different setup or rig from what it was in the last game, which it looked more internal. Like you could see the Venom pumping through his veins and everything.
And lust for power enslaves all.
Now, we can clearly see that this person in this image is actually Poison Ivy, who earlier today, has been confirmed as a playable villain, which I'll go over later in the roster.
Such folly and futility in the grand design. Curious how lines once clearly defined become...
Now, the first time I saw this part with all four of the heroes standing side by side, I originally thought maybe there could have been a four-way battle.
Perhaps it is time for them to...
Now we get our first glimpse at the villain of Injustice 2, Brainiac. Now, it's not much of a look, but with the couple photos that Warner Brothers have also released coinciding like with the trailer release, we get a much, much better look. Like this one right here, showing him be a much more armored version of Brainiac than we've ever really seen, and the tentacles like he's had in most of his incarnations, like Superman, Last Son of Krypton, and a few other comic arcs.
Be redrawn.
Now, just here, regarding the title, I just thought I'd put in my word, as I've been reading a few people online are complaining that they think the title of the game is Injustice 2, Every Battle's Define You. That's absolutely ridiculous. Warner Brothers and the people in NetherRealm would never, ever do that. I'm thinking that the Every Battle Defines You is just like a slogan for the game, like as most games have. Like, for instance... Batman Arkham Knight with their Be the Batman slogan. Fallout 4 with War Never Changes. And most importantly, No Man's Sky with a quote, the slogan given by Sean Murray as One Man's Lie. All three of these slogans perfectly summing up all of the games. So that's why I don't think the name or the undertitle of Injustice 2 will be Every Battle Defines You. I think it's just going to be set as the game's slogan. Now, this one image here is very, very important, as not only do we get to see Darkseid, like one of the biggest and baddest villains in all of the DC universe, but also we see two little words that can sometimes make or break a game, and those being pre and order. Now, for this game, I'm going to have to say I probably will pre-order it, as NetherRealm have had a really good track record with their games, being like Mortal Kombat 9, 10, Injustice. So I think it is fair to say that by pre-ordering this game, you aren't really taking too much of a risk, as, you know, it'd probably be a safe bet to say that this game isn't going to be completely rubbish. Like, even if the story does let it down, it's still a fun, like, action-packed side beat-em-up game, which is always really good. Now, Warner Brothers have also released these three images. Now, these aren't Australian prices, these are in American. So, like, in Australia, the standard edition is $100, I believe, and the deluxe edition is $140, which is like reasonable Australia price, but the ultimate edition, sorry. Now with these 9 DLC fighters, I'm actually a bit skeptic to who they might actually put into the game, as from the character roster as we've seen so far, there is going to be 31 characters in the game. Well, 28 characters, and then 31 including the 3 we see down the bottom, who are Power Girl, John Stewart, Green Lantern, and Reverse Flash, who are all skins of Supergirl, Green Lantern, and Flash, who are actually going to be used more like their own characters, but can only be accessed through the original based versions of themselves. Which means in total we're going to have a total of 40 different characters to fight with. Now I think that is an amazing effort from Warner Brothers and the people at NetherRealm to try this, as that is a lot of different fighters. Now, obviously, there's going to be different skins and variations of each characters, like with the gear systems, and for each character to have their own fighting styles and gears, that is a ridiculous, if they can pull this off, it could be, one of the best beat-em-ups of all time. Now, as this photo shown by some gameplay footage from IGN, we can see that there's quite a lot of different characters. Now, you can't really tell what sort of character is by their shadow, as they do look very, very strange. Like some of them, like the top left corner looking sort of like a teddy bear, but in a few weeks or so, maybe getting a bit closer to the release date of the game, myself and the rest of the team at Magnanimous are going to be releasing a video for who we believe each of these different characters are. And who some of the possible DLC characters could be. Now, for the characters that have actually been confirmed to be in the game, we've got Batman, Blue Beetle, Flash, Harley Quinn, Superman, Supergirl, Wonder Woman, Deadshot, Grodd, Aquaman, Atrocitus, Bane, and Poison Ivy. Bane and Poison Ivy were only actually confirmed as villains after the trailer was released, which I said previously in the video. So now, with all this, guys, I think it's fair to say that Injustice 2 could actually be a really, really great fighter. With the gameplay we've actually seen and the story trailer, this has the makes to become a really great fighter. But at the same time, I'm still a bit skeptic on it with the whole gear system, as I'm really, really hoping that Warner Brothers don't try to go for microtransactions, because if so, the game will become pay to win, and it's just going to become absolutely rubbish. Well, anyway, guys, I'm Mossy, and this is Magnanimous. Thanks for watching.